All right, greetings everybody. It is another sweltering hot summer day, but I'm cool, I'm refreshed, I'm nice and showered, so I feel so fresh. And speaking of fresh, next week is going to be a bunch of fresh news. JP will be pretty much guaranteed unless one thing. If it is true and they have cut back on pretty much all seasonals, I would not expect a summer unit, but if it's ever going to be a week, it certainly seems like it will be next week. And then there'll probably be another collaboration shortly after to be announced based on, last year and expectations and everything like that. So for people who are curious, yeah, that's what you should expect for JP. Expect a beach unit next week. And expect a hearty, strongly worded video about the next unit to come to global. But why are we actually here today? What are we talking about? I wanted to talk about this. It's something I talked about in the Thunder Veritas video, but I wanted to highlight it a little more because it is fairly important. Also because I made a mistake in that video. I said that you could use water Veritas shards, you could use earth Veritas shards, fire Veritas, and frost Veritas, but you could not use wind, and that's not true because there it is. It's available in wind. What happened there was basically I checked out earlier and it didn't populate in this list. I don't know if it was just a bug. Given that there's been a fair number of bugs, it could have just been not loading in properly. I don't know. It's not the first time that I've seen these kind of errors happen in Wotv, but it was in there and it was in the video and I just goofed. But talking about what it exactly is, I mean, I guess we'll cover the basics for people who don't know about this thing yet. Basically, it is a equipment for the Veritas units that gives them a fairly large stat boost. Compared to what we normally see on accessories, you don't normally see a 50% HP boost, a 40% attack and magic boost, and a bunch of other stats. You just don't see these kind of stat boosts essentially ever. And I want to address, of course, some things that I've seen people commenting about, but also just say that really, in terms of the topic of this video, I want to see more of this. And I don't want to see just more of this in a general sense. I want to see more of this for every unit in the game. I would love it if these were actually separated maybe by year, if there was like some way of math percenting it out, of giving increases, because despite what everybody might like to protest of saying like, your mon should be as good as Ash, and no kids, no sweetie, no, you're gonna be late for school, you're still dreaming. The fact is that older units should never be as good as new units because it will effectively kill potentially a bunch of banners. People use old units because there is a limited amount of resources, except for whales, and they make do with old units. Sometimes they find strong compositions. That struggle is what sometimes allows people to find great matchups of characters that are already, out and everything and fairly recent. Not always do you have to have the newest character, although recently there's been a character that's kind of disproven that. It happens. But yeah, I would love to see this for units on a almost yearly basis, like the first year of Wotv, the second year of Wotv, and giving them relatively, increasing stat boosts for older units. I think that would be actually a really great idea to reinvigorate like old players and old units for PvE and allow people to kind of get through older PvE content here. Why not? Why the hell not? at this point. PvE is definitely not the focus of Wotv. It is a thing in Wotv, but it is not the thing where most of the effort is going to. A lot more is going into other stuff. And you know, at this point, I mean, given how many strong units have come out this year, it's pretty much impossible for older players and especially long-term players to really feel all that good. I mean, that's almost another topic for another video, but to segment in, like, there's been a discussion on JP with JP players of the people who aren't spending money or who are spending mid-tier money are getting absolutely the worst deal in the entire game recently, where it's almost just it's impossible to keep up, and especially BCN units, it's felt like there is a massive power gap left between. And yes, people spending money, I guess, should get some more stuff because they are directly game, whatever. But point being is that another thing is just the fact that the comeback campaigns are vague and nebulous and can be pretty annoying, in the sense that, like, some players I know have gone on break for roughly about 2 weeks because they heard that if you went on break for 2 weeks, other people had gotten like comeback banners where they got 4 selective ECs or something like that. And where is that for any of the players who have supported this game for an incredibly long time or anything like that? I know you can't just give stuff away for free, even though you kind of are. This is potentially problematic. Always this feeling where someone can create a new account and potentially just cheat because they're not that interested in cheats anymore or anything like that. So you get this problem where a very new account just lands the 3 strongest characters and by far can, in a very short period of time, just completely obliterate other people. And that has been happening on JP. I have run across a good number of just flat out cheaters, like a rank 10 account with 140 Shrekken and 140 AC Sephiroth and all maxed equipment, and it's just like, come on, like, at least don't try and hide it a little bit. But blatant annoyingness aside, like, it is a problem of the mid-tier squeeze has gone on just a wee bit too long, and it would be kind of nice. I mean, it certainly isn't encouraging when you fall this far behind. And heck, I mean, sure, whales will get this as well, but it's a goodwill to the community, a goodwill to a bunch of older units. And this is something that people have been asking for a little bit. They'd love to see these kind of stat boosts. Now, talking about a few comments that I saw. One in particular was saying, why didn't they just give all the Veritases next-gen stats? Which I take a little bit of a problem with that statement, because if you remember, Wind Veritas came out long before any of that happened. They can't just, if they would have given the Veritas units, essentially free units for the most part, just next-gen stats, it would have been problematic for the units that were releasing on banners, because then the power jump would have had to have happened then, and it would have been going longer, and who knows what it would have been like. But no, sweetie. Like, the Veritas units started to come out at a very specific time. They've kept them very much on par with each other in terms of their general utility, but for the most part, these are free units. There's no reason for them to be as strong as your gotcha based units, the units that are the one's actual spending money. That's what the game runs on. The game runs on making money. It's not super good when free units are just net. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, given the design philosophy of when these started out and very clear distinction of not just like giving enhanced buff stats to the later Veritases, I think is generally good. I think that it's generally good to keep all of these units feeling relatively the same, and I don't think that there's anything to be ashamed about the Veritas units. Earth Veritas has proven to be strong, Water Veritas has proven to be strong, Wind Veritas has proven to be an incredibly long-lasting unit that people have been using since he first came out, and they're still using him and still doing quite well. It is a testament to how good the Veritas units actually are for free and everything like that. But I think that this adding more long-term value to these units and potentially showing this to me, like this equipment thing, kind of shows to me that they're interested in keeping these units relevant into the future. And why not? The Veritas units, to me, are definitely some of the most memorable things to come out of FFB ever. Like there's a lot of stuff that I remember through the course of Final Fantasy history. The Emerald weapon, the Ruby weapon, those are still being used. Just Final Fantasy 8 and hot dogs. Like there's different things that stick in your mind from all of these games. And the Veritas units are, to me, probably one of, if not my favorite thing to come out of all of FFB, and will continue to be a thing that I really like into the future because they're cool, man. They're just cool. Everything about them is cool. I don't know. I'm on the side of this being fine. I just kind of hope that we see maybe something else come out when the final 2 units are available, Light and Dark. I just hope that Light and Dark are maybe a little bit more friendly and not just, more grind content, because that's probably the worst thing about the implementation. But yeah, like the Crystal Ball, I think that it's a good way of doing it, good way of keeping it like steady and pretty straight across the board. But yeah, there's kind of a midterm, long-term player feeling bad moment sentiment going around. And it would be nice to see more of this kind of stuff to older units on some kind of scaling thing as, year per year, or maybe generation per generation when like there was big power gaps or big power jumps. I don't know. Anyway, that's all for my opinion. Throw your opinion below in the comment below. Thanks for watching, supporting the channel, and see you later. Cool H2O is fantastic.